All right, and we'll get to chat. Don't worry, I'll get to you, chat. I know you guys are gonna have a lot to say about a lot of these different things. All right, moving on to the Orville. The Orville I have now adopted as my sci-fi adventure fix, space adventure fix. I always tried to get into Star Trek when I was younger. I watched Star Trek Next Generation. I've seen all the movies. I've never been able to get into it like I got into Star Wars, and I never was able to get into it like a lot of other people. There was sometimes, and it's not that it's a bad, it's not a bad property. It's not a bad property at all. It's just I never got into it like other people did. I just couldn't, no matter how hard I tried. But this show is probably giving me the most excitement of all the shows I've watched recently. All the praise I've given to Reacher, Night Sky, and other shows that I've talked about that are not either mediocre superhero shows or just absolute trash Star Wars content. This show has me feeling like I felt when I was a kid watching Star Wars. It is that good. And I know what you're saying. Wait, Seth MacFarlane, this is Ted, Family Guy. I thought this was a parody of Star Trek. And it is. Until it's not. The Orville essentially starts off like what you would expect. A Seth MacFarlane show that's like Star Trek with a lot of comedy, raunchy comedy, sexual innuendos, and it's all there. It's all there. But then something changes along the way, and it's not just in season 3. It starts changing midway through season 1, and you start realizing this show is really good. And it has slowly transitioned from your typical Seth MacFarlane IP into a show that is full of adventure, mystery, even horror. There was a show I watched, there was an episode that was recent, not this past week's episode, but the episode before that, where the Orville crew are exploring what's called the Expanse. And this is a part of space that they had never explored before because it was in an alien race called the Krill. And the Krill finally they're trying to make peace with this other faction, this other race of aliens who are very religious. They allow them into their space and they tell them you can explore, just don't go here, don't go there, or try to avoid these places. The Expanse being one of them. The Krill warned them there's demons here, shadow demons, bad spirits, and all that. It turns, because the Krill, or you'll find out as you watch the show, are very religious. So the Orville goes anyway. And this was like a really kind of creepy, like a really scary episode. And there was this one part where something happens to, I don't want to give it away in case you guys want to go watch it, but something happens to one of the admirals. And man, it is so grotesque. I couldn't believe that this was on it just hit me that this show is just something completely different than it was in season 1. And this show has 2 major space fleet battles in 3 seasons already, and they were both absolutely epic. It's still lighthearted in areas, but there were some episodes that really tugged on the heartstrings, especially the last episode. There was a big bomb drop, not literal, I'm being figurative here. A bomb drop of a story element that just took me by surprise, and I am so taken back by how good this show is that I'm hoping there are more seasons to come. There are rumors that potentially season 3 is the last season. They have confirmed that the story-wise, it's not a definitive ending, but at the same time, the fact of the matter is that Seth MacFarlane has signed on to do a TED series, I think with NBC or something like that, and some of the Orville cast will be on that show. And the other thing is that there's a lot of other members of the cast that are kind of up in the air. They, their contracts have to be renegotiated if they're going to do a 3rd season. So there's a lot of things kind of working against it. It's not the fact that it's not getting the ratings. I think it is. And it's not the fact that it's a bad show, because it's absolutely not. It's probably one of the best shows on TV right now, in my opinion, based on everything I've been watching. I mean, kind of up there with The Boys in terms of excitement and the urge to want to watch the next episode. Obviously, much different content, but the point I'm trying to make is that excitement and that feeling that you're looking forward to the next episode of, say, like The Boys. I get that same feeling with the Orville, and I'm so happy that I can go back into a fictional space sci-fi and enjoy myself, because I can't find that in Star Wars anymore. It's just not there. And now I'm really hooked on the show. I'm really kind of turning into a fanatic. I even looked at figures of the actual Orville ship because I wanted to get one. So I don't know if there's a name for that. Like, you know, like Star Treks have the Trekkies or whatever. So I don't know if I'm an official Orvie now, whatever the hell they want to call it. But if you haven't seen the Orville, and if you have access to Hulu, I suggest you go and give it a shot. Check it out. The first 3 or 4 episodes, you're going to kind of feel like I said, it's a Seth MacFarlane show. Once you get into like mid to late season 1, pretty much all of season 2, and definitely the first 4 episodes of season 3, you're going to see that. And it even changes in terms of the length of the show. The Orville starts off as a half-hour show like any other comedy or sitcom, right? Now it's an over-hour-long show full of adventure, full of wonder, full of mystery. There was one episode that reminded me a lot of something you would see on Star Trek. Obviously, Seth MacFarlane's a big Star Trek fan. And there was a character on Star Trek, The Next Generation, called Q. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. Well, they introduced an alien character in this show that is not identical to Q, but gives you Q vibes. And I thought that was very cool. And it's funny because this character comes from a planet that they discovered that kind of shifts in and out of like time. What they call that? They even use the term in Interstellar, time distortion or something like that. Anyway, so for every like 10 days of our time, it's 700 years of their time. So the Orville crew literally saw the planet evolve over time. And there's a semi-funny story to that, but it kind of gets serious later, but I don't want to give that away. So just really cool stuff in the show, man. And great battles. There's a lot of action. The CG, considering it's a TV show, is pretty good. It's actually a lot better now in season 3, but that's to be expected now that it's exclusive to Hulu and they're investing into it. And I love the fact that the Orville ship is not methodic and clunky like the Star Trek Enterprise or any of the other shuttles from Star Trek. But at the same time, it's not overly speedy like the ones in Star Wars where you just see things flying by and they're coming in too fast. It's a good pace ship. It's got great maneuverability. It can do barrel rolls. I mean, it's sick. It's just fun to watch. So, yeah, I would definitely check out the Orville if you have Hulu and if you have the time. It's absolutely fantastic. So, thumbs up for me. I can't wait till the next episode next Thursday, especially after the bomb they dropped at the end of this episode. It's just good shit, man. It's good stuff. Please go check it out because I would love to talk about it with you guys on a stream one day. It's just that good.